What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's webinar. We'll get started in just a minute. Let me get this link inside of the group. 1 second. 1 second. All right, let's get started. I'll change that in a minute. Let me see. All right, edit post. 1 second, you guys. Let me get this corrected. 1 second. Okay, it's good. Let's get back here. All right, I hope you guys have been having a good week. I hope you guys made some money last week. We'll basically be going over the majors. So let me get started with this. More or less, we'll be going over the dollar index first. Let me change the screen. So more or less, we're in the same correction that we were in last. Developed a little more for us. So if we go to the day chart, as you can see, we halted right here in this area. We got the correction here. So what I'm looking for in the dollar index, we should move up to break these highs. Considering we are in the same type of running flat type situation. You have the zone here, you got the trend line here. So more or less, we're heading up. All right, once we break this level, be looking for downside personally. So be careful, put your stop at break even, and protect your profit. Let's go to Euro USD. All right, Euro USD, more or less, we haven't had any more upside from that up move the other day. So more or less, we're still looking for the potential running flat. As far as, it breaking down here, breaking this low, giving us the move back up to these levels here, testing this area. So let's see what happens. But more or less, it looks like to me what we could see next week is a fall from here, as you have the downtrend being developed here. So once we get a break of this low, let's see what happens. As far as, getting the move up to this level and more or less coming back down as well. It depends on what the dollar index does as well. Let's see what happens once we get the break of the high on the dollar index and the break of the low on the euro dollar. Pound dollar, you can see we were looking for a move down from here. But as you can see, we got the continuation within this leg. So that gives us a better view on what we could see the next month or so. So more or less what I'm looking for now, since we got the break of this level here, meaning this would be our shoulder of confluence, and as well as you have to take in consideration the trend it's making now. So more or less we have a reference zone here. So we're waiting for a potential correction in this area. So we're looking for the market to reverse for a continuation, making a new high within this structure. Let's see what happens, and let's see what type of correction it gives us the next 2 or 3 weeks. But more or less, if you guys see a, impulse and a flag type of correction on a smaller degree, maybe the hour or the 15-minute chart, it could be, an opportunity for a possible selling position on a very short term. So you have to have a strategy to trade that. So be very careful with that. Let's go to Euro Yen. Euro Yen, more or less, let's put it on the 4 hour. Euro Yen, more or less, we're getting towards the top of this structure. It's making to the downtrend, to the downside. So what I'm looking for to crawl up here. Let's monitor structure once it gets to these levels. Because if we get a break, then we should see some type of bigger correction to the downside pretty soon. Let's see. It's relatively too high for you to trade right at this moment. I would wait for a correction then possibly we could get a continuation out of that. So be looking out for that on euro yen. Dollar yen, relatively the same thing. We're in a little different type of structure on a long term. So what we have is a move down here. This would be the first wave up. This whole correction, complex correction, would be the whole second leg, the second movement down. So more or less, I think we're done with this correction. I wanted to move up to finish this overall corrective structure on a long term, 1, 2, 3. So once we get to this level, we'll be looking for reversal type of structures to the downside. So, the market doesn't move that simple. It will take time for structures to develop, but, knowing the markets, you can trade that continuation structure when it's making on a short term. So, be looking out for that on dollar yen. Dollar Canadian dollar, let's see. More or less, we are in a correction. As you can see, we experience a lot of these corrections within this leg, so this would be no different. It seems to me that we are developing something a little bit complex as far as, when should I get in? When should I leave it alone? And this is a time you need to look for confirmation for, either direction, because we could easily come down for another movement downward, making a new lower low within this structure, this corrective structure. This being our reference, as you can see, we are still inside of this trend. So you don't want to buy too early, and you don't want to, miss out on, possible continuation structures. So more or less wait for a break within structure. As you can see, we have lower lows here, but we don't have a break of this downtrend. We're at a kill zone at the moment. So if we see a move up here, that would basically give us the impression that, depending on the correction it gives us at this level, we should have a move up. But personally, I don't think we'll move up yet. I think we'll get some type of correction here to this level here before we actually get the continuation up. Let's see what happens with that. But if you guys are interested in the academy, hit me up on Facebook. The link is below. Hit me up on Instagram. But more or less, you guys have a good week of trading, and good luck.